Well, that completes the service. Everybody can go golf or whatever we need to do. So think about it. Just pause for a minute. Yesterday it was such a lovely day. How many of you were here yesterday? Do you realize how many you served in the neighborhood too? And the excitement of these folks when they drove up. And I was very excited because I didn't have to work. It was all done when I got here. And oh, the temptation to tell everybody how it ought to be done. Can anybody relate? Anybody relate? It's like, I know who you are. Go ahead and raise your hand. And it's like, no, just a day of joy. Then I was asked to do the opening prayer. And it was like such an honor. And I asked those little kids that was here, who's here, to hunt eggs? Like, hey, it's like, they don't care. They're not worried about if their hair got combed. It's like, where's the eggs? It's like, if this can't teach us something, I don't know what could. Like, how much of this are we going to forget? And then I said, okay, let's open in prayer. So let me have, what would y'all pray for? Little kids, what would you pray for? Eggs. Yes, what else? Candy. Like, yes, you're in the right place. What else? And then it was like, waited. Yes, money. I just waited a minute. Like, what else? And this little kid said, my grandpa. My grandpa. Won't you just take a second and pray for somebody right now? Who comes to mind? Sister, brother, grandpa, neighbor, somebody you haven't seen in a long time. Send them out a little prayer. Like, if energy is true and quantum physics is true, they know. They'll know. They'll get a feeling about it. Then I said, what else? And this little kid went, Jesus. Like, let's pray for Jesus, but let's pray that we become more like that. How about that? What would it be like if we not quit talking about Jesus, but let's do something besides talk about Jesus for the next 2,000 years and actually do what Jesus encouraged us to do and invited us to do and charged us with, to be this in the world. You go and be this in the world instead of using that life and riding on the coattails of that for the next 2,000 years. So how would that be? So as I thought about this, and there's going to be a presentation at the end of today with some of the youth will be up here to do a little joy song for us. So I'll start our joy here now and invite you when they're up here to hold a space for them, because this is what 9-year-olds that are scared will still do. I'm scared and I'll still do it. So what would that look like for you? Something that you're a little scared to do? If you just went, hey, I'm scared, I'm going to name the ghost, I'm scared, and I'm going to do that. It's a little nerve-wracking, actually. And I'm going to do it anyway because I've got to be this in the world. I can't keep waiting on this. So when I ask about what this morning was about, what Palm Sunday is about, and I went back and listened to what I have been saying for 20 years now about Palm Sunday. Almost every Palm Sunday for 20 years, I've done a presentation of some sort. And I went, okay, what is Palm Sunday actually about? So how would you answer it? What is Palm Sunday, the beginning of Holy Week, actually about? And what came was holy shift. Holy shift, a holy shift. Now, feel free to use this all week. When somebody cuts you off in traffic. Yes, I pay her to do that. Yeah. That's double. Instead of our normal response, holy Holy shift. Holy shift. So when they don't call me back, when they don't keep their word, when they irritate, frustrate, disappoint, sadden me, and the temptation to go the other way, instead, like, hey, holy shift. If there's will and there's willpower, then I've got a choice point. Occasionally, if I can stay out of this little part of my brain and access a bigger part of my brain, there's a choice point. There's cognition. There's a place that says, hey, there's another option here. There's another option. Options live up here. There's no options down here. Anybody know what I'm talking about? When you thought, hey, where'd that come from? That animalistic part of our brain that we're always just one thought away from. So, joy, choice, holy shift. Holy shift. And if we're going to make it through with our soul intact, with our spirit cared for and not drained off, it's going to take some of this. Have you noticed? And there's a myth that I wanted to speak about today that is like a myth that I believe that we somehow fell into a spell that we've got to earn joy. Can anybody relate to this? Like, I can't have joy till all the work's done. I can't have joy till that's done. I can't have joy to that. And this is coming from the oldest of two youngest. Anybody relate? Anybody the oldest in their family? When you think it all falls on me, if it's going to be, it's got to be by me. And it's like, look at them just having fun. Look at them not worrying about what water they're going to drink today. Because Martha will give them water today. And it's like, and when I get all that done, I'll have some joy. Well, guess what? Never comes. Never comes, because the work is never done. Say it again. Done. The work is never done. So if I'm waiting on joy to get the laundry done, or the dishes done, or the yard just right, or all the ducks lined up, and traffic flowing in Cincinnati. Don't get me started. I threaten not to come back. And instead of joy is our birthright. Do you remember that as a kid? When you had a little joy and it didn't even make sense. I mean, some of us were in real pickle barrels as kids. And it's like, and there was still joy there. We still found a way. We found something to have a little fun with, something to giggle about. So instead of walking around looking for someone to give us permission to have joy, what if you just decided today? Not joy because it's morally right, just joy because I want to return to my atonement. I want to return to my own birthright. And I want to wake up to the work is never done. So if I'm going to wait for the work to be done to have joy, I'm not going to have any. So I can't do that anymore. So I'm going to have to find a way to have a little. Today. Today's the day. You've already had a little joy. I've witnessed it on you. That's why the energy feels like it does when you drive up here. So proud of y'all about that too. Do you know that churches are closing at rapid speeds? Over 50 years of church decline. Another building for sale. And what's Unity of Garden Park doing? Can you get a sense of that? What a miracle that is? And that you're miracle makers in that. Like you coming, you serving, you making events, you putting consistent giving into a treasury here that says we know what that's for, and that I've got to give out of my own gratitude for what I have, then I'm going to use that to go and do what we claim we want to see out in the world. Like it doesn't happen by magic. But there's magic in our actions and miracle making in our actions. So bravo. Tell somebody by you. Way to go, y'all. Way to go. Way to go. Keep it up. Tell them, encourage them. Keep it up. Keep coming. Keep serving. Keep coming. Keep serving. Keep giving. This is magic here. Now turn back to somebody and tell them, this is your permission slip to have some joy. Give them a permission slip. Here is your permission slip to have a speck of joy before you die. Now, for those of you that are really rebellious, and most of you are, you wouldn't be in unity. See, nobody in unity wants to be told what to do. Have you noticed? So what if you became like a holy rebellion? Like a holy rebellion. Like it's, yes, a big hole. This is like holy shift times 10. Like one of my friends, some cardiologist told her she needs to rest. And it's getting serious. And we're talking double, triple blood pressure medicines and heart monitors and all sorts of things. So she went to an adrenaline park and drove golf carts Saturday. Now, we could have carried her out. We didn't, because nobody can die on my watch. That's going to be important. But it's like discernment about what does that actually mean? Rest. And discernment about, am I going to miss an opportunity to have that kind of joy, that kind of experience? Because my heart might flutter. And it's like, well, oh, by the way, my heart's been fluttering while I've been sound asleep. So if it flutters, it'll be doing the same thing it does while I'm at rest. So rebellion, and not to take it too far, because I had a ruptured appendix at age 14 because I was rebelling, being an inconvenience to my parents. I didn't want to be an inconvenience. Well, guess what happens when you don't tend to acute appendicitis? Anybody know? Anybody got an experience of this? It's called ruptured appendix. That is followed, yes, I got a sister here, with peritonitis and gangrene and a coma. So there's a fine line with how much rebellion we want to dose here. The encouragement is to be discerning, to be in presence, not as knee-jerkish, not as unconscious, but discerning about what choice will we make. So here's a joy practice menu. You ready? Take your pick. Let's get practical. A daily WTF gratitude. Every day, write down 3 things that make you say, WTF. How could this even be real? Something that astounded you. How could it be real that 5 people in one hotel room got cleaned and dressed and out on time? WTF. A WTF journal. You with me? Send them to me. I saw a squirrel carrying a donut. WTF. Yep. Maybe the smell of rain. The smell of rain. It may be yesterday right out there on that fence. Those little red buds had grown all the way down one limb. Like somebody had stuck them on there like decals. WTF. The sacred dance break. We're into practices. When you're losing your spiritual center, pray harder. Take a pause to pray. And then put on some music and get the cooties off of you. Like loosen some of that up to say, if praying can shift it, I'm good to go. And if praying can't, anybody relate to this? Like some of my deepest spiritual practices were shy this year. I had to do some things I have not done because the things I had always done was not working quick enough and effective enough for me. So I had to dial up spiritual practice, which is where spiritual deepening comes from. Dance like the divine is watching. Or Eckhart Tolle would say, dance like you're the dance, not the dancer. Let it have you, so to speak. Number 3, the joy bomb. Pick someone at random and text them. You're amazing. That's all. You're amazing because. That's all. This is spiritual awakening. This is spiritual deepening. And then the last one is the nope. Nope. Am I going to do that? Nope. Am I going to say that? Nope. Am I going to give her the side eye even though I want to? Nope. Am I going to fire off a text before I pray? Nope. Because I'm in Holy Week. And I'm awakening to Christ consciousness. I cannot longer do that. So, what about the world? What are we going to do in the world and for the world? So here's your invitation. We got some practices. We got some pattern interrupting to do. To go forth and be consciously joyful. WTF, joyful. We have to look a little harder sometimes with all we've got going on, don't we? It's a little harder at times. And critical. Vital. Be willing to annoy people with your light. Like, do not invite her. She is filled with joy. It's like, well, yeah, don't invite me because I couldn't be able to stand you. So just be a little willing to be at least slightly annoying with joy. Notice a sunset. Notice a tree blooming. Anything that'll raise the vibe. Tip a little extra. You know why. You know the feeling of that. And be generous with joy. Like there's no shortage. Like it doesn't cost a doggone thing. To be a little heavier on our doses of joy. So think about it then. And going out, Anne Lamott says it as joy is carbonated goodness. Like effervescent goodness. So think about it in terms like that. Most of us like bubbly things. And this is not, though, to bypass any grief or loss or sadness that you have. That it includes that too. So don't do a disservice to yourself, an abandonment of yourself, or rejection of yourself if you're having those intense feelings of sadness or loss or grief. They're there too. That's part of our wholeness too. And how to be with them, care for them, and to have some joy to bring a little balance to it. So would you say that with me? This is Holy Week. This is Holy Week. And I'm going to act like it's Holy Week. And I'm going to make it a holy week. And I'm going to do it on purpose. I'm going to do it spiritually awake. I'm going to do it spiritually determined and absolutely grounded in what I know to be true. Let the Holy Week begin. Love to you all. Mwah.
marthacreek.com if I can support you. Blessings.